Hey everyone, thanks for joining today. I'm Jami Gordon. I help people with selling and buying homes and land in the Cedar Rapids and Iowa City and surrounding areas. And today we're actually going to take a little bit of a change along the journey of education. So I started an educational series several months ago, and what really drew me to doing them was I was running across a lot of the same things over and over again. My clients were making a lot of comments that I was like, gosh, maybe I should do an educational series that will educate not only them, but just the general public on the selling and buying process to provide a little bit more clarity. In December is obviously the month that a lot of us are doing finalizing our goals for the year, and we're kind of doing a lot of self-reflecting, seeing a lot of family, and in celebrating successes and maybe overcoming some of the failures that we had throughout the year. So one of the things that I was really struggling with this year was my mornings. I was struggling with getting the kids to school in the morning, and I would wake up and I would be like, start off my day with, oh, I don't want to wake up in the morning. And then it was like I was hitting that snooze button a few times a day. And I was always thinking about all the things that I needed to accomplish during the day. So I was really distracted in the morning. And same thing was happening really right before bed too. I was like going through my list of things that needed to be done and the list of things I accomplished. And I was like, it was just an overwhelming, I was just like not in a good place. So I was drawn to this book, The Miracle Morning. And you read here, it's the 6 habits that will transform your life before 8 a.m. So that title kind of caught me, and I thought, I need to read that book, right? So it talks about the 6 things that you need to do every day. But what this book starts off with is a story about, the author Hal Elroy. And Hal had, he was in his 20s. He had a lot of things going right in his life. He was very successful. He had all the money he needed. And then he was involved in a tragic accident, which he wasn't supposed to survive, and then he wasn't supposed to walk. So he was told, you can't walk, you can't do this, you're not going to be able to do these things. And of course he proved everybody wrong, hence the book, right? So the first thing that I really took away from the book was the word can't. I became very ultra sensitive to that word, and I think it was because I was just thinking of his whole experience that he went through and some of the things that I went through. So when somebody would tell me I can't after I read this book, I would be like, why? Why can't I do that? And I would say, why are you doubting me? Why don't you think I can do that? And I started really paying attention to the way that I was talking with my kids about things that they could and couldn't do, right? So instead of saying, you can't do that, I would say, you shouldn't do that, and here's why. And I quickly realized too that when I was a teenager, that my parents would say, you can't, you can't, you can't, you can't. And I'm like, heck yes, I can. I'd become very rebellious and made a lot of bad decisions. So I really started with paying attention to the word can't. So think about that. That was one thing that I really enjoyed in learning about. So then it talks about things that you should try to incorporate in every day. And one of the things that I do every night is I have this affirmation that I read, and they actually provide this affirmation for you through this book and some of the free resources online. And it helps you shut down at night. So it says, that I'm going to go to bed at this time, I'm going to wake up at this time, and I've accomplished everything that I possibly could today. And kind of gives yourself permission to shut your mind down. Because I was waking up a lot of times in the middle of the night, like with frantically, like, oh gosh, I forgot to do this, I forgot to send this, or I forgot. And I would have, a notebook next to my bed, and I'd write it down, and I don't do that anymore. I literally shut down at night, and I provide myself permission to do so. And in the morning, it teaches you to also put your alarm clock across the room. I've heard this millions of times, I've read it before. But for some reason, this book just allowed me to do it. It told me to do it, and I did it. And it was one of the best decisions that I made. So not only is my phone not next to my bed, so I can't reach over and be like, oh, maybe I should I forgot to order this from Amazon, or I need to look at this on my calendar. Like, I literally have it across the room, so I have to get off my butt and go do it. And it actually stops me from doing it a lot of times in the middle of the, in the middle of the night or right before bed. So, and it also tells you to think very positive in the morning. So, like, waking up at 5 sometimes is not fun, right? Your body's like, oh, I don't want to wake up. Your mind, you're just exhausted, right? So I wake up in the morning with something very positive in my mind. So today's going to be a wonderful day. And thank God I woke up today, right? Thank God you're giving me another day. So I say those things in my mind, and I put my slippers on, turn my alarm clock off, and I head to the restroom. The next thing it talks about is that your body is actually becoming dehydrated overnight. I am actually, I sweat a lot at night. It sounds gross, but I don't know it's just, I get really hot. So I know that I'm dehydrated in the morning. So I drink a whole glass of water, and that actually, it wakens your organs. Then I brush my teeth, so you have that nice fresh mintiness in your mouth, and it just kind of awakens you, right? Splash a little water on my face, and then I'm off to my morning. So the silence is the first thing on this list here. So there's 6 things that you should be doing every day. And I say every day, so it's not always just in the morning, it's just every day. So I was having a really hard time with silence, and I'm just not really good with sitting still for a very long period of time, but it kind of made me feel better when it said 1 minute of silence is all you really need. And it really is paying attention to your breathing, paying attention to your body and how it is, and trying to clear your mind fully. But finding that moment of silence was difficult for me, because my son kept waking up earlier and earlier. So I first started waking up at 5:30. Well, so did he. Then I started waking up at 5 and realized I did not get enough time in the morning to myself. So my time that I wake up is 4:30, and it has worked very, very well. The next one is affirmations. The book does help you kind of write your own affirmations and provides you some examples, which is very, very helpful. Affirmations really kind of set the tone for the day. So I read mine every morning, and I have like 3 different ones that I read, and one of them is focused on my spirituality, and one of them is focused on my family and dedication to my family, and one of them is focused on my dedication to my business. So dedication to God, dedication to family, dedication to business. So the one for the family was that I'm a devoted wife and mother, and that my family always comes before my business. And there's like 3 sentences that I read every day. But I will have to say that this affirmation specifically is something that is top of mind when things happen throughout the day. Because you all know as parents that sometimes you get a call from school that your kid's sick. And sometimes you wake up in the morning and your child's not feeling well. Or maybe they did something naughty at school. And how I was handling that before was not great. And now I'm able to really, that affirmation just pops in my mind. Anytime anything comes up with my kids. Love my kids to death. And it's one that I highly recommend, is doing one for your family. The next thing is visualization. And visualization has been a little difficult for me as well, because as I'm visualizing what a perfect day would look like for me, I'm thinking of, and then my son's gonna throw a tantrum, and then I'm like trying to like take those things out of my visualization, because it's supposed to be a very positive thing, and you're supposed to visualize. I'm having a really hard time with this word. Visualize. I can't even say it. Oh my good Lord, it's one of those days. So you're supposed to see your day as very positive, or think of something that you really want to accomplish, maybe even throughout the year. So for me personally, we like really, really, really want to get to the country at some point. And I think about what that all looks like. And it brings a lot of joy to me, actually, because I'm thinking about what it looks like on a daily basis. Exercise was something that I didn't start right away, because I thought I'm gonna succeed at getting through this 30-day challenge. And for me to add 6 habits all at once was just not going to be a thing that I was going to be able to succeed at. And so I thought, exercise, I'm going to say that my exercise is running around with my kids, running around showing people houses and helping people with selling, and that's my exercise in the beginning. But now I have incorporated it, and I'm giving myself some grace. I'm not doing it every single morning, but I do plan on getting there. So exercise is important. We all know that. Reading, intentionally, like we read a lot of things on Facebook. We read a lot of things. My dog is being naughty. We read a lot of things, but we don't a lot of times read things intentionally that we should be reading, right? So I intentionally am reading on a daily basis. And then the last one is scribing. So scribing is actually journaling. And what I love about this book too is it provides you with these handouts. And so you have your lifesavers, the things that you're supposed to do every day. And then you have like areas to do these journal entries. And what's really cool about this is like literally there's like 5 lines for the journal entries. So you really don't have to like write a lot, and it will take you only a few minutes. And it really allowed, when I saw those 5 lines, it like allowed me to simplify the highlights of the day, the things that I learned, the things that maybe I could be doing better. The things that were really bothering me are all written in just a couple minutes. So it starts, actually you have your 3 goals here, then you have all your journal entries, and at the end of the week it has a nice little review section. So what were my accomplishments and disappointments? What commitments will I make now to ensure that I improve next week? So that really kind of allows you to go through your week and see what was great about it, what was not so great, and create your goals for the following week. So I really, like I said, really recommend this book. You can get it on Amazon for about $10. So if you haven't read it, please pick it up, read it, and at least incorporate some of these things into your day. And I trust that it will be just as amazing of an experience as it is for me. And I hope that you learned a thing or two this morning. And I hope you have a blessed day. Take care.